Welcome to the Corona Cero post show. Corona Cero made with all natural ingredients, 0% ABV, the same crisp and refreshing taste perfectly paired with a lime. Great to have your company here at the Fiji Marriott Resort Momi Bay host set. And we've got a lot to talk about today on the show. Joe Turpel, Felicity Paul Matir bringing in Jesse Mendez after an abrupt call off for the day with that win. Great call. It's absolutely shredded out there. And we had a lot to talk about. I mean, I haven't talked to you yet, Jesse, since we lost Gabriel Medina, not just from the event, but also the world title race. What was your reaction?
I think that was a big one, actually. Obviously, going against Griffin, in my opinion, he's one of the guys that step up the most against those big names. Obviously, he's a big name himself already. He's proven that, but he tends to do everything right when he goes against Gabriel mostly. And when that win came in, I was like, oh, this is like a shift, you know, like it's going to play in Gabriel's favorite with all the airs he can do, but he couldn't land one. He finally had that 6.83, which was a great rotation, smaller wave, but it just wasn't enough. There wasn't more waves in the end, and yeah, that's what she rode.
Loving the breakdown, Jesse. That's exactly what I was wondering from you. We had a lot of great heats, great conditions, but this is the big talk still around Fiji and globally. As we break it down one more time, Griff got his best using priority when Medina was moving up the reef.
Yeah, and you can also see, like, getting this best weight, the conditions haven't gone, you know, they haven't not totally shredded just yet. So great for Griff to identify that, to change plans. Obviously, he had to give way there. Gabe had to give way to Griff, but this is just going to be the biggest confidence booster, right? I mean, he said it in his post-heat interview. He's just taken down Gabriel, who's been in incredible form. We saw him yesterday out here. He's great at weights of consequences, two-time winner and recently a bronze medalist. So for Griff's confidence, this just means big things. And like you said, Jesse, I mean, Gabe, he did go to the air and he did stick this one air, but he had a few chances, but he just couldn't quite pull them off. I mean, that was still pretty incredible considering the section he did that air on. But yeah, he just couldn't come to fruition for him. But hats off to Griff. He kept his composure and without a doubt locked in, you know, at the very least, a number 3 spot, a seed going into the final 5. So, I mean, that could still change before the end of the event, but great win for Griff.
That's right. As you also see Yago Dora's name, remember he's still on deck to compete with Jack Robinson. Robinson's already clinched a spot. Yago's got something to surf for, very reminiscent of last season. We have Italo Ferreira out of the contest, losing to Baron Mamiya. Mamiya has Ethan Ewing in the last quarterfinal as well, so there'll be a ton of pressure on Ewing battling against Baron Mamiya, and Baron's got nothing to lose, you know, and he's feeling a rhythm. He hasn't felt this good since Pipeline.
Totally, Joe, and that, I mean, when you're pressure free, like, it tends for you to commit less mistakes. But I've had a close look at Ethan's Ewing because we were commentating, me and Flick, and earlier today, and there's not one moment in that whole entire heat that it seemed like he felt the pressure, which is crazy because he had to have been going through pressure right there, but he was just able to mask that out, and he looked great, and he looks like he's ready to take the top 5.
Exciting times as well on the women's side as we had a giant heat. 4 and 5 in the world going head-to-head in quarter 4. Molly Picklum getting the jump on Joanne Defay to clinch her spot in lower trussels.
Yeah, Molly looked so good. I mean, Joanne opened up with this wave here. It was a 7, like, and I was thinking, okay, Joanne's looking in really good form. But Molly answered back with her own 7. And, I mean, this must be it here, just really textbook backhand surfing. And, you know, followed up with, she backed it up with that tube ride afterwards, which we'll probably see as well. I mean, this 3-turn combo, she kind of had a couple of attempts before this, wasn't really hitting the mark, and then backed it up with this thing. So she did a really good job at reading this section and then just really muscling her way out of this. I mean, she could have easily have fallen here, but, and there's so much energy that's breaking on top of you. So she did a good job, got the win, and clinched her spot.
It was a giant win for Molly Picklum, who has beat Defay more recently, but a left at Cloudbreak, a previous champ, that was massive. Now it's coming down to this. Tatiana Weston-Webb is in the semifinal with Tyler Wright. If Tati wins that semifinal, she's going to lowers.
Let's just mention, they're both very good friends, and they're staying in the same room at Tavarua. So this is interesting, right? Like,
oh my God.
It's the only place in the world that this happens, you know? Like, all the surfers stay together, and it's great. because they're friends and they're battling in the water.
Flick, what would you do? Are you going, hey, can I find another beret for the night? That's a lot to think about.
It is, but, you know, these women, you know, there's only a small amount of women on tour, right? Everyone's super close, and I just think, oh, no, I'm not finding another beret. You're just hanging out together. And at the end of the day, like, coming into this, they weren't even in that they weren't in that top 5, right? So it's like, hey, let's let the best woman win here. It's fair enough if someone was already in there, right? And then someone's come and knocked them out. It's like that. Yeah, okay. They've just both been outside of it. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, let the best woman win. Let's do let the surfing do the talking.
That's what they're thinking. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
There we go. Game on. That could be first thing in the morning. Tyler out of world title contention. Tati with a lot on the line to try to take that win and get a spot into the final 5. Obviously, Joanne DeFay wants it to go the other way. We'll find out what happens in the morning as we go to the Mophie charger of the event contender from today. 17-year-old phenom Aaron Brooks eliminating world number 1 today.
Oh, this was incredible, right? I think, hey, this is a good indication of what to expect from Aaron Brooks once she qualifies and she gets on tour, because it's not a matter of if, but when. She's already, you know, for number 4 currently on the Challenger Series. She's got a win. She's got a 2nd place already. And just this whole day, I mean, she surfed so well. Not even just in this heat, you know, against Katie Simmons, but you go back to the previous heat with Gabriella Bryan. She took that opportunity in the dying seconds of that heat. She didn't have a priority. She did it under priority, got a score when she needed it the most. And I'm just so, yeah, proud watching her. You know, we've seen her coming from a long way away, but to actually see it come together in a heat is a different thing. And yeah, really impressed.
Crazy. Sometimes there's just a turning point with an athlete that win under priority after losing her board when her leash wasn't on. That could have been everything to show that she could pull off anything she wants. Aaron Brooks has Molly Picklum in semifinal number 2. And Tyler Wright, like we just spoke about, has Tatiana Weston Webb. Tati in a must-win situation to try to fight for a world title. She's been runner-up in the world in the past. And for Molly, she already knows she's going to be there with that win over Joanne DeFay as we flip the finals bracket. And look at the back half of the draw. Well, I guess the top as well. Jack versus Iago. That's been on the boat for a while. Now they're coming in to reset. Imai versus Rio. Then Baron Mamiya versus Ethan Ewing.
Oh, man. You know what? I just look at that Jack, Robbo heat and the Iago Dora one. It's like Jack's already clinched. Like, you know, they're good mates. They you know, have got the same coach. It's like, do I just give this one to you so you can have the spot? Okay, everyone's thinking it. I'm just going to say it. Sorry. I've said a couple of those today. Whoopsies.
I know. I like when you do, Flick, because there is the thought there. And then the other thought, I think, to counter that is the last thing Jack wants to do is let somebody in that could potentially take him out when it comes to a world title.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen tomorrow. Like, Jack's not going to give him an inch. That's just how they are. They want it too much.
Yeah, maybe if it was a QS and someone's about to qualify, you're already there. That's happened in the past with brothers in the same heat, but a world title's on the line.
Forget about it.
They're surfing for this thing. It's their last breath. Let's check the surf. Surf line giving us the report saying tomorrow could potentially be the finals day. Also looking at maybe Tuesday for a final.
Yeah, I guess obviously, you know what? We woke up this morning and we were pleasantly surprised. That swell from yesterday stuck around. It was very groomed, but obviously we've seen it, you know, sort of dissipate throughout the day, got a little bit more inconsistent, and then all of a sudden, we was forecast for cross-shore winds, but not the wind that we saw this afternoon. And then obviously you see, you know, tomorrow you've still got that little bit of that swell hanging around. I think because this swell was late, we might have a little bit more than expected, which would be good. You look further on into, you know, the next few days, and yeah, things get grim there for a couple of days. There is that swell in the future. Is it good enough to wait around for? I'm not sure, and that's why that's not my job. Hey, I'm a bit tired, maybe.
No, this is fun. This is honest. It's real. That's what we're doing here on the Corona Cero post show. You know what time it is. It's time for the Fiji Marriott Resort Momi Bay top 5 moments of the day. Coming in at number 5 on the charts. Finals still in sight for Tatiana Weston Webb. Coming through with a crucial victory to stay in the draw.
This was massive for Tati, and you know what? Of course she wins this next semi-final. she's in, right? But at the end of the day, she came into this event as an outside chance, and she needed a big result to make it happen. I think she'd just be happy at the end of the day to have finish the year off with a really positive result. She's doing just that.
Coming in number 4, Colapinto goes up 6-4 in one-on-one heats and ends Gabriel's season.
I mean, I think more impressive than anything about this heat is how he kept his composure, and throughout this wave, you can see how calm he is. And I mentioned that in his previous heat, how he's so calm off the bottom turns, and he was accelerating throughout every turn, so much pizzazz, so confident. He looked great, Griffin, and he took down one of the best.
Number 3, you're always going to make the top 5. Aaron Brooks, big wild card upset.
Yeah, she's just surfed so well today. So impressed. And you know what? Her wave selection, her heat IQ, the strategies she put together, she kind of had in this heat too, she actually had, the broken leash. Here we see it here, had to do the board change, and then ended, she's also got barreled today too. I mean, just surfing beyond her years, super impressive. Obviously took down Gabby Ryan, and then obviously world number 1, Katie Simmers. So, I mean, look out for finals day, because I feel like, what Stace said today when we crossed to him, hey, she wants to go all the way. There's no doubt about it. That she's probably watched what Vahine did earlier this year in Tahiti and been like, hey, if she can do it as a wild card, so can I. And, we know she's had experience out here in the past. She came here earlier in the year. She's put a few reps on the board. I've seen a few photos of when it was solid as well. And, hey, if it's dropping swell tomorrow, she's a small frame girl. I think that could play into her favor.
Well, nerves are gone now. I mean, your wild card, you're going, oh gosh, here we go. And it's all gone. She took out world number 1. Now she's just guns blazing. Just like she did a snapper when she got the 10. Coming in number 2, final 5 spots clinched today. Brisa Hennessy getting through, making sure she's at lowers. Jack Robinson, also Molly Picklum, Jesse.
Yeah, hands down for Brisa, just to put her on a fight with an injury, like a big gash in her foot. As you can see right there, she has it all covered before the heat started. Obviously knows this wave very well, so that played in her advantage. Jack, just solid surfing all day, deserves 2 wins this year. One of the most consistent surfers we had on tour the past, I don't know how many years, 3-4 years. So it's good to see him back in the final 5 and actually having a crack on the world title.
Great to see. And also Molly Picklum making it official, Jesse.
Yeah, and this is just, I mean, can't be better than that. You actually clinch your spot on the top 5 against someone that is actually fighting against you head to head. Like it was in her hands, and she actually took that out of Joanne, because Joanne started so well at the 717. Looked like everything was moving towards Joanne, and she just took that over from her, and that was impressive from her.
That was a big win for Molly, taking a win over a past champ and winning the post-show, a master class from Gabriel Medina.
Yeah, once again, beautiful surfing. I mean, 2 of the judges gave it a 10. I agree with those 2. This thing was absolutely incredible. I mean, what more can you do? So deep in the barrel. He's just really on another level out here. The read on the wave is absolutely incredible, and just, I mean, proving why he's won out here 2 times before.
What a great show from Gabriel Medina. Congrats on another great season for the 3-time world champ. And things are all set for a potential finals day tomorrow. It'll be a 6:45 a.m. local time call for a potential 7 a.m. start. Enjoy worldsurfing.com, and we'll see you tomorrow. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.